Good morning, everyone. I am Heather Kelly from the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Rockford Chamber. We provide small business training and guidance to existing and startup businesses in the area of business planning, marketing, accounting, and human resources. And our services are free of charge. That's because we are partially funded by generous donations, the Small Business Administration, and our host is Rockford Chamber of Commerce. So today I would like to first of all remind you of some upcoming events. We have our 3D printing class coming up. Again, that is free of charge. Next week from 9 a.m. to noon on Wednesday and Friday. That will be at NIU Rockford. And so if you want to sign up for that, please go to rockfordsbdc.org. Also next week, we have a webinar called Instagram Marketing, 10 Point Profiles. That will be hosted by Lewis Dotson. He is the founder of the Rising Flames Project. So that will be a really good program for you in terms of boosting your presence on Instagram. And so with that, I will introduce our speaker today. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We would appreciate that. And we will address any questions after the presentation. And also once the presentation is finished, we would be happy to open up if you just want to unmute yourself and ask questions. So I'd like to introduce Adam Shanks. Adam is the director of the U.S. Commercial Service. It's part of the U.S. Department of Commerce and International Trade Administration. So with that, I will turn it over to Adam.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. So thank you for joining the meeting. We had some technical issues this morning. That's why you see me and my doppelganger. Because what we have to do is we couldn't get the audio working on my work computer, so I had to turn on my personal computer, and that's where I'm speaking through, but I couldn't put the presentation on my personal computer, and I have to manage it through my work computer. So we'll get it done. But anyways, I'm sure everybody is interested in learning a bit about how the federal government can help companies in their exporting needs. So we all understand that if you're looking to expand your business by exporting, that can be a bit intimidating. But rest assured that the federal government is very supportive and can help on many aspects of your exporting agenda. So let's continue. Here's the agenda today. I'm just going to speak briefly about who we are. We'll talk about the products and services of the U.S. Commercial Service. And then we'll go into the export landscape. And then we'll do a case study on Cincinnati Crane. So let's go ahead here, who we are. So many of you are familiar with government, but perhaps you don't know exactly where the commercial service, which is under the Department of Commerce, falls. So the Department of Commerce, under which is the United States Commercial Service and the International Trade Administration, which I'm a part of, is part of the cabinet of the United States of America. So the current secretary is Gina Raimondo, and it just so happens that she is 7th in line to be the president of the United States. So as we know, if President Biden were to happen, something were to happen to President Biden and he couldn't finish his term, it would go to Vice President Kamala Harris. Something happened to her, it would start with the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, and then it goes down the line to the Department of Treasury, Interior, Agriculture, Justice, and then finally Department of Commerce. Needless to say that if ever Secretary Raimundo becomes the president of the United States, you have a lot more problems than exporting. So hopefully that'll never happen. But just a bit more about the Department of Commerce. So the Department of Commerce really came to its prominence under Secretary Herbert Hoover. So many people know Herbert Hoover as sort of the infamous president that was in charge of the country during the Great Depression. But actually, Herbert Hoover had great success before coming president. He was responsible for famine relief during World War I, where millions of Germans and Belgians were starving because of on the one side, German occupation, on the other side, British naval blockade. So he saved millions of lives during World War I. He was also responsible for administering the Russian Famine Act. But many of the things that Herbert Hoover is known for during his stint as the Secretary of Department of Commerce was standardizations. For example, back in the 1920s, there were cars, but they weren't standardized. For example, if your car broke, you couldn't find the right screw to fix your car. So we standardized milk bottles. When Herbert Hoover became Secretary of Commerce, there were hardly any Americans had radios, but by the time he left, about 10 million Americans had radios, and he was responsible for standardizing the radio frequencies that we all use today. He was considered probably the most active Secretary of the Department of Commerce, and a resounding success. And we still try to carry out his mission. So this is what the Department of Commerce does, and myself as a member of the United States Commercial Service, we try to help you export. And using the power of the United States federal government is very advantageous to you. The Commercial Service leads promotion events across the US government, across the United States. We have offices and representation in more than 75 countries to help companies like yours and firms like yours export and increase your sales to new global markets. So we are here to serve you and your exporting needs. And maybe we can talk a bit about how we can help you. So exporting is very essential to any company that wants to grow. You can either be here in Rockford and sell your services to Rockford, maybe try to branch out into Illinois or have a national profile. But if you really want to make money and if you really want to grow, you should consider exporting. So what are some of the services that we offer? So you can see here, these are our services: export counseling, market intelligence, business matchmaking, and commercial diplomacy. And I'll explain those more in depth as we go on. But while you're using and taking advantage of those services, you're using the power of the federal government, our worldwide recognition. I already mentioned before, we have an unmatched network of experts in more than 76 markets, and we're results driven. We do in-person counseling, online counseling like we're doing today, a presentation of trying to introduce people like yourselves and potential and fledgling exporters like yourselves to the services that we offer. So let's talk a bit about export counseling. So the first step for a fledgling exporter, a new exporter, or even an experienced exporter is what kind of strategy, planning, financial logistics, market entry do you need? We have, excuse me, trade experts placed around not only the United States, but in embassies across the world. So the first step, if you want to export, is you would seek somebody like me out, or one of my colleagues in the many offices around the nation. We also have e-commerce innovation lab. So this is something that we're starting right now. So a major tool in your exporting is your website. So is your website designed and geared to handle exporting, sales overseas? So we have special programs that you can contact us about how you can manage your website to make it ready for prime time. That is to say, ready to start exporting to other countries. Does your website have language capabilities? Is your website, the language on it, does it let people who visit your website know that you want to sell international? So we would work on that by using what's called our website globalization review. So we have certain analytical tools that you can take advantage of to make sure your website is ready to export. And then of course that's all part of our e-commerce export resource center. So if you're interested in that, a good first step is to contact me. So exporting requires some strategizing. You just don't wake up one day and say, well, I want to export to Saudi Arabia. Well, you don't know. Do you know what the market is like in Saudi Arabia or Mexico or a region like Europe? So working with one of the trade specialists like me, we can help you target the correct market for you. For example, perhaps you want to export, say, water resources. Well, you want to go to a country that needs certain types of water resources. You don't want to go to a country like Canada that has a lot of experience in that. Maybe you want to go to a desert country that doesn't have a lot of water. So those are the types of consulting that we give. We give you sort of initial market check. So for that, for example, we would try to recommend what is the best target market with you. And then, of course, customized market research. You need to know what are the sizes of the market? What are the customs in that market that would allow you to promote your product? For example, is your product allowed to be exported there? So lots of times, some of the manufacturers, they have dual use products that could be used for weapons, and you cannot export those. So we would help you. We would also help you understand who are the key competitors. But most importantly is many of the small to medium-sized businesses who want to export, they don't have distribution channels in these countries. But you need somebody on the ground in those countries. So what we help with potential agents, distributors, and other type of partners. And we do that by coordinating with the US Commercial Service posts in embassies throughout the world. So in almost every embassy and consulate or US embassy and consulate throughout the world, I have counterparts there who are specialists in the markets that you're interested in. And then, of course, international company profile. So you want to make sure that the people who you're doing business with, whether they're buyers or sellers, third parties, whoever, are legitimate businesses. Because that's very important, because you could be investing thousands, tens of thousands, maybe millions of dollars into a venture campaign into a new market. And you want to make sure that you're dealing with upright and honest people. So we could help by giving you general business information, doing background checks on key officials, and of course, understanding if the people that you're doing business, that they have good credit, that they pay their bills, that you're not gonna accept half payment or 50% payment. You ship the product and they never pay you. So those are many of the services that we can provide under market intelligence. So business matchmaking, I already spoke a bit about this in the previous one by understanding that you need partners in other countries. So example, business matchmaking, we have various ways we can help you with that. For example, a single company promotion. So oftentimes in my previous life, I worked in international sales and I had to deal a lot with foreign governments or high-level players in a private company. And I can tell you, you just don't pick up your cell phone and call that guy and say, let's have a meeting. You know, those type of contacts are difficult to do. So we can arrange these type of events where we can facilitate the contact with important government officials. And oftentimes that can be in person, through phone, email, video chat, so various ways. So we can really help you open the doors to meeting the foreign nationals in other countries that can help you achieve success. A featured US exporter listing. So we would put your name on a website or our website on the embassy website in a certain company or a certain country, so that potential buyers or sellers could find your name more easily. International partner search. Many companies use this. So an international partner search helps you find qualified distributors, resellers, agents, and other strategic partners. For example, many companies who want to export will find, say, what's called a reseller in a country. So we would help you establish that relationship. For example, maybe we would find 5 potential partners for you and you would interview them. It would be like you're giving a job interview, and you can either pick one of them, all 5 of them, or none of them. And those people are qualified distributors and resellers that the US Embassy has qualified, has interviewed, and know that they're players in the industry that you want. And those people can help you promote your product. And it really is quite helpful. In my previous life, that's how we almost exclusively sold in foreign countries, by using partners. And then a business server provider listing. Again, this is a way to be able to understand and help identify professionals that can help you in the realm of assessment, financing, how to complete an export transaction. And then finally, this gold key service. This is kind of like a hyper international partner search. So it includes helping you find partners, but we also start helping you make meetings with powerful players in a foreign country. And all these services do have a cost, but the cost is quite nominal. I don't think we have any cost under $1,000, but also keep in mind that these costs can be covered by what's called ISTEP, which is the Illinois State Trade Export Program. So that program is very useful. It's called ISTEP. So write that information down. And that program is sponsored by the state of Illinois. And that program can provide you grants and funding. For example, maybe you want to go to a trade fair in Colombia. So that can give you a grant to go to that trade fair, helping you finance the costs of travel, hotels, etc. But also those costs can help pay for our services. So definitely that is a great program. Lots of companies use it, not enough companies use it. So that's very important, I understand, for small and mid-sized businesses. So something else to keep in mind is I mentioned on the previous slide, attending trade events. So we have numerous types of trade events, and I'll go through these really quickly. And they're classified as various types. For example, Discover Global Markets. So these are annual business forums that we arrange through our diplomats overseas, and they help you network with important players in the industries that you want to go to. And then trade winds. Again, it's using the power of the diplomats overseas, and these provide you with customized matchmaking services, and they're very helpful. It's another way to meet potential partners and resellers and distributors. And a lot of these trade events, understand that they're certified trade missions. So we're trying these trade events, they're customized to your certain industry. So you know that you're going to these trade events and it's going to be a valuable use of your resources and time and money. Trade show representation. So if you can't attend a certain trade event, we can contact our diplomats overseas, our colleagues overseas, who can actually do some promotion while you're not there. International Buyers Program. So again, this is part of our matchmaking services. We can help do networking, export counseling, and market analysis. And then finally, international trade fairs. So again, these are important services that we offer. We could help you prospect foreign buyers, agents, and then also one-on-one exporting. So all these sort of trade events are very important for you. And again, I want to emphasize that many of these events, they're international events. Sometimes they could take place in the US, maybe, for example, Miami, which is actually a hub for Latin American business. But oftentimes they do take place overseas. So if you don't have a passport, get a passport as soon as possible. If you want to do exporting, you'll need to go, likely you'll have to go overseas, but rest assured you have the US government supporting you. And not only US government, but the state of Illinois with their funding programs. Okay, commercial diplomacy. So this is a real big issue for many companies. I've mentioned in my previous life, I did a lot of international sales. So in international sales, you respond to tenders or you respond to public bidding. And I'm sad to say that lots of times they can go sour. Maybe there's corruption involved. Maybe a guy just has his favorite company that he wants to give business to. Maybe the specifications of a certain product or tender do not allow you to participate in a tender. So oftentimes these are blocking maneuvers, whether intentional or unintentional, from foreign governments or foreign companies. So what the US Commercial Service does is that we advocate on your behalf. We try to open up the specifications. We try to encourage foreign governments to allow US exporters like yourself to participate. And oftentimes we would involve the US Embassy. I have a couple of projects indeed in Brazil that I'm working on that they're just not really working for some of US companies. And we're trying to help those US companies export. And we're doing that through the US Embassy and consulates in Brazil. So this is a very powerful tool for you. The other facets of commercial diplomacy are trade barriers. So as you know, many countries have trade agreements, or maybe they don't have trade agreements, but they're trade barriers. And so we would file a complaint on your behalf or help you file a complaint with the International Trade Missions Trade Agreement Negotiations and Compliance Office. TANK is what it's known as. And it allows US companies to have the confidence that other countries will abide by their legal agreements. And of course, trade dispute resolution. So oftentimes when you're working, there could be trade disputes. But again, rest assured, you have the federal government behind you and supporting you on these. These are very important cases, and it reduces your risk assessment when exporting. All right, let's talk a bit about the export landscape. We just finished the hard part, and now let's see how the world looks to everybody. So exports do matter. Of course, the United States, it's the largest economy in the world, but we don't dominate the world. The majority of exports, 70% of the world's purchasing power is outside of the United States. This is a great opportunity for any company wanting to export. Imagine all the billions or trillions of dollars of market that some exporters have at their beck and call, you know? And then of course, this is the opportunity. It's surprising, the size of the US economy, the GDP, but only 12% of the United States GDP is generated by exports. Most of that means 88% of our economy is generated internally. Of course, that has great advantages also. But if you compare the United States to some of the other big exporters, imagine Canada with a population smaller than California, 32% of their economy is generated by exports. Germany, I used to work for a German company last year, 47% of Germany's economy is based on exporting, and Germany is considered a powerhouse in Europe. And then you look at other countries, 44% Korea, 20% China, 20% India, and then of course 30% United Kingdom. So the point is here is we have a lot of room to grow. This is positive for any potential exporters who want to export. Our mission, again, how we are different by working with the federal government. You have worldwide recognition. US government, we can open doors. Global network. So we have unmatched resources in more than 76 markets around the world with our knowledge, and results driven. Of course, you're working with specialists who have oftentimes decades of experience in exporting in international markets. So a bit about here. So 31,000 exporters. The number of US exports, these are the number of clients that the United States Commercial Service has assisted. 92% are small and medium-sized businesses. And the point here is we don't want potential or new exporters to think that just because you're a small business, that you're not going to get any attention with us. We're very proactive in working with the underserved communities, small businesses, and keep in mind that a lot of the larger businesses, they already have all the tools that we offer. And so we offer the tools that you as a small or medium-sized business do not inherently have. 10.7 million US jobs are supported by the export of goods and services. Return on investment. So the US commercial service is very productive. $1 is allocated, $1 allocated to the commercial service has a return of $360 to the US economy. So that's proof of our effectiveness. Results for small business. Of course, as I said, exporting can be very profitable for you. Average annual revenue increased by commercial service clients last year, $2 million. I'm sure everybody wants a piece of that. Companies that export grow faster. They're less likely to go out of business. You're able to hedge your business expenses and risk across various types of portfolios. And a bit about the state impact of exporting in our state of Illinois. So 1.6 million jobs of Illinois, 20% of employment of the state are supported by international trade. Illinois is a top 5 exporting state. The big exporting states are California, Texas, Florida, New York, and of course, Illinois. Export growth. As I said before, many of the exporters are small and medium-sized businesses. Just because you're a small business shouldn't intimidate you, shouldn't try to make you think that you cannot export. And this number is very impressive. 53.3 billion of goods exported from Illinois in 2021. I mean, I wouldn't mind having 0.0001% of that. So, and then finally, this is the last thing, and we're going to watch a little video. And hold on just a second. So we're going to watch a little video. It's less than 2 minutes about a success story. I just need to fire it up here. Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay, you ready for some fun? Oops, I got to do it here. So this is a case study on Cincinnati Crane and how it raises its global sales.
Hi, I'm Tony Strobel, President. Hi, I'm Tony Strobel, President of Cincinnati Crane and Hoist. Cincinnati Crane, we offer turnkey project delivery for overhead crane systems, from initial conceptual design through engineering, fabrication, installation, service, and training. I founded the company in 2008, which was an interesting time to start a company. And we found that the military work, although those were tough times, that military work helped us as a jump-off point for the company. It really got us through the lean times, and we've appreciated all that business over the years. We're a veteran-owned small business, and we have a strong culture of hiring vets here. We appreciate the leadership skills they have and the experience, and it's really strengthened us as a company. U.S. Commercial Service has been a tremendous partner for us. We recently were able to acquire a project in the Dominican, and without their help, I don't think we would have pulled that off. Chris Simpson with our local commercial service office has introduced us to other agencies that have really given us a platform to consider global business. Specifically, XM Bank and the SBA have been very helpful. They've given us the confidence and the tools we need to look at a global offering where we were traditionally accustomed to working coast to coast in the US, but with the partnership that we have with US Commercial Services, we now can look at global business.
Okay. So that's my presentation, and this is my contact information. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email or call me, and it would be my pleasure to help you.
Adam, do you have that contact information on the slide, or we can put it in the chat?
Oh, sorry, I thought okay, let me do this. Okay.
Linda, did you have any questions for Adam?
So, okay, there we go.
There we go.
So, well, just to say, so Linda is one of my business partners who I'm working with.
Okay.
So my name is Chanel Carrick, and I met Linda because she's also a registered nurse. I'm a registered nurse. And I was thinking about expanding. I have a home service agency, and I was thinking about making a CNA school in Ghana, as well as getting into the beauty industry and health industry. So she forwarded me this information from you guys, so that way I can attend this meeting and see how it could be beneficial for something that I would love to do, in the future, which is like exporting and expanding goods such as shea butter and Senegalese salt as a part of my business. So yes, I'm super excited. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So your name again, I'm sorry?
My name is Chanel Carrick.
Chanel. Okay, Chanel. No, my pleasure. And just so you know, so it sounds like you also want to export or focus on some goods and services such as training.
Yes.
So that's considered an export. It's considered an export whether you go there and do the training, or they come here and they do the training.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't matter. It's considered an export, and it's a vibrant industry. It would probably be under, you would probably be under the education and also the healthcare industry. For example, last week I was at what's called FDIC Fire Department's Instructors Conference in Indianapolis last week. And many of the people there, they want to be able to say, go to Australia and train firefighters there. So working with you on the educational front is definitely something that we could help you with. And then also, if you have any products you would like to export. So it sounds like you want to do a couple of things.
Yes.
But why the focus on Guyana? Or on Ghana, sorry.
Well, because Ghana is known, I would guess a lot of people are a lot of Americans are kind of going there, and it's becoming a little bit more Western or Americanized, so to speak. So I figured that the market will be a little bit easier for me to reach that type of census and to reach that type of money, so to speak. So like I said, I'm a registered nurse. I would love Linda. She has her CNA school in Rockford.
Okay.
And I just became an instructor. I just got my code and I have my own company. So I'm like, you know what? I want to go to Ghana, start my CNA school over there and do my holistic things with shea butter, because Ghana is known for shea butter.
Yeah.
They're known for shea butter. So I want to go there, start a shea butter farm. And also I want to try Senegalese salt. So they have like the pink, it's not pink Himalayan salt because that's something else. It's like a Senegalese salt.
Yeah.
So, yes.
No, that would be great, and we can really help you with the instructing part. So
Okay.
so keep in mind, but one thing also to keep in mind is that if you're looking, say, to import from Ghana products like salt and shea butter, that's considered an import, and it's a little bit outside of our mission statement. So we cannot help, but also keep in mind that if it's part of your supply chain, right? If you're taking it, if you're using it, you're taking it back to the United States and it's part of your supply chain, then there is some room to help you with that.
Okay.
But it sounds like what you want to attack first is mostly the educational aspect.
Yes.
So we can definitely help you there. We could probably get in contact with the U.S. Embassy there, or the commercial service post at the U.S. Embassy, who could help us find perhaps industry specialists or people who could help us on the educational and healthcare front. So
That'll be awesome.
yeah. Yeah, so you see, I put my contact information in the chat.
Let's see. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I ended I thought I was advancing to the next page on my presentation, but I ended it instead. So,
Sometimes it's easier to just put it in the chat.
yeah. But this is the first time I did a presentation on 2 computers at the same time.
Yeah, it worked out, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like,
We were
yeah,
scrambling a little bit there.
yeah, we met before the meeting, and Heather couldn't hear me. And so I go,
Oh.
okay, fortunately I brought my personal computer to the office just to have a backup just in case.
Always got to have a plan B.
Troubleshoot.
That's what US commercial service people do.
Yes.
You know, they always have a plan B.
Yep.
You're in good
You
hands.
certainly do.
Yeah.
Okay, so so then I'll let you two connect
Yeah.
with further questions. And
Yeah,
of course,
so-
if we need to be brought in at any point, it sounds like it's mostly the export end of things
Correct.
right now. Yeah,
And
so Adam's the expert.
yeah, so Chanel, please feel free to contact me. It would be great to talk to you. We can meet in person or meet online, and possibly meet with you and your colleagues and try to figure out what's the best way to attack your exporting needs. So
Thank you so much. Should I put my information in the chat?
yes, please do. Yes.
Okay. Let me come here. I'm so nervous.
You're excited. You're excited.
This has been like your own presentation.
Right?
Yes,
Customized for you.
Customized for you. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
I
so
want-
surprised not a lot of people are on. Like, I'm so happy that she sent me this information. Like, not a lot of people know about this.
Right. That's how, we want to get guest speakers where, it's a win-win, where we help promote and, get the word out. But yeah, we had people signing up, and sometimes people get busy and just aren't able to attend.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful so much, Adam, for even considering, small business such as myself and others and the like, because I don't know if I can speak to everybody, but when you're getting your feet wet, it's just so intimidating, the big sharks that are out there who have more experience than you, and you kind of want to like shrivel up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah, it can be really intimidating. You're not going down the street looking
No.
for business. You're going to another country in Africa, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially providing health aid to a country in Africa. Who knows? There could be other programs involved from the US government that could really need somebody with your expertise and talents. And this could be kind of interesting. So the other thing I did, Chanel, is I see this other link that I put there. So that's to the state of Illinois.
Okay.
And that's a list of people who can help you with your iStep grants.
Okay, let me put that here.
So maybe at one point you'd like to go to Ghana and to a trade fair there or something business related, they could help finance that. So
You have that link?
Yeah.
Yes, I copied it.
Good.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, great. I'm glad that you were able to make connections today.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
great.
very exciting.
Thanks for having me. And
no, my pleasure. And Heather, I don't mind doing this again if you can get more more attendees. But this is better. This was our customized presentation for Chanel.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to have you back, and I'm glad
Yeah.
we could help. And hopefully you can connect soon. And
Do you
Have a
want
great-
me to tell the word about this too, or is this secretive, or like what should I?
No, this is public information. Yeah.
I
no. And this is great.
Yeah.
Yes, please share. Please share.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because you're like the only one here doesn't mean it's
No, it's
you have the whole power of the United States government having a spotlight on you at this moment.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
okay.
You just feel lucky I'm not from the IRS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one wants that.
Yeah.
No one, and I'm good. I'm clean. I promise.
All right, I'll give a good recommendation to the IRS for you.
Thank you so much. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey,
All right.
have a great day, and we'll be in touch, and we can meet again either in person or through the phone, maybe with Linda, and just have another conversation.
Definitely. I'm looking highly forward to it.
All right. All right.
Awesome. Adam, thank you so much. And yes, I will take you up on that. We will have you as a guest speaker again.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. We'll be in touch, you guys.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
You-
Bye.
Bye.